Just did a full read-through of Blake Lively's documents and Brian Freeman's response about being subpoenaed. Blake Lively at one point goes on about Brian Freeman going to his preferred news outlets. And she's trashing him for that, right? That he goes to his preferred news outlets and has this story that he gives them. This is coming from the woman that hired Nick Shapiro. All right, guys, we got to stop and smell the flowers because Blake drives me crazy. This is going to be relaxing. You always have to stop and smell the flowers. Okay, so with that said, Nick Shapiro, when he worked for the government, I have multiple videos about this on YouTube, so check it out. I expose him for his work with the CIA. I expose him for his work with Airbnb, the black box team. He was the one that they enlisted to bring the document, the fake article about Hunter Biden's laptop to his favorite journalist. So they enlisted Nick to contact his favorite journalist to get the story out there. Further, Blake Lively wants to keep putting out these statements, right? That she speaks for all women and she supports all women so they feel heard, even those women that don't have the resources. What about Nick Shapiro and his time with Airbnb Black Box? Because Nick's sole job with Airbnb Black Box was to cover up SH. Is she rolling in duck shit? Okay, back on track. Nick Shapiro's sole job with Airbnb Black Box was to cover up SH, people that were ended, attacked, body parts that were found in Airbnb rentals, like the most horrific shit. Nick Shapiro was brought on to hide that, to not just hide it so that it never made it to the news, but to pay women and families off, families who lost their children, families who lost loved ones in Airbnbs. He paid all of them off. He made it go away. That was quite literally Nick Shapiro's job. And Blake Lively wants to go on and on about how she's fighting for women and standing up for women that aren't resourced. And she wants to go on and on, knocking down Brian Freeman for his preferred news outlets and trashing him for that. I think Blake Lively needs a mirror and she needs to look in her own backyard. If you want to be an advocate for women, maybe it starts with hiring people that are also advocates for women, not people that literally paid off women to keep their mouths shut about the horrors that were done to them. And they obviously don't want that information out there because every time I talk about Nick Shapiro, my videos get flagged. I end up in hit pieces that Blake Lively runs against Justin Baldoni to try and discredit me and my work about exposing Nick Shapiro. So they obviously don't want that information out there because it doesn't fit Blake Lively's rebrand as a fighter for women.